Go live. Yay, I'm live. Happy Saturday, everybody. I was just looking up what professional actually means. I used to joke about professional means you get paid for something, not necessarily that you're any good at it. I was wondering if I was a professional options trader at this point. And the only thing that, let's see, where's the definition? Um, Engage in a specific or specified activity as one's main paid occupation rather than as a pastime. I do kind of as a pastime, but it is my main source of pay. So, except for I keep putting it back in. I guess we've taken 60,000 out, but what's up, my man? What's up, Raul? How you doing? It's like I think we went over so much stuff yesterday. I don't know what there's gonna be to talk about today. Um, let's see. I wanted to look up. I have a degree for reading options. Do you? Do you actually? I don't have a degree in anything, so all I know is like literally I'm 2 years into it. Actually, when is it? I think is it my account's birthday or was it yesterday? I'm kind of curious. Oh, for trading options. Let me see. I think it might be my account's birthday. Let's see, all time. Wait, why doesn't it? On the mobile one, it says it. Oh, November 8th. But I really started trading here, February 22nd, 2021. But this account was born November 8th, 19. So I guess a year and almost a couple weeks old. Started trading there February. Oh, it's right around Valentine's Day. I should get myself a Valentine's gift for learning how to trade, I guess. Where is that speech? I gotta cut that thing up. What do I think? I don't know. Next, what will Tesla be at next week? I don't know. So, let me just double check the Tesla SEC filings. Make sure we didn't get any more of those. Nope, we did not get any more of those. So, I mean, one of the things that can weigh down on it, like I think if nothing weighs down on it, we should still see some consolidation. I don't think I don't think we're gonna have major up movement. I don't think we're gonna have major down movement. It depends, I think, what the reaction to possible more selling is. So Elon's either halfway through his share selling, but none of it was done after what date was that? The last ones that he sold were come on the 16th. So he didn't sell any Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Um, I don't know. Kind of whatever happens with that. I think that's the only huge news. Otherwise, I think it'll continue to go up. But then there's, on the same side, there's going to be crazy speculation. There's been so much. I don't know if you watch Twitter at all. Um, but there's so many funny like little speculations about a stock split, like reading into the times when he posted things and the dates. Um, I think it's like December something. So I don't really know. I wish I knew. If I knew, then I would have some beautiful like butterflies on for next week. but it's nice. My favorite, like that, what was it? That last day where he was selling and we ended up going up for the day. That was awesome. That was just like such good confirmation for me. And the fact, what did we only hit? We hit like 900 or something at one point. That was awesome. And oh, I need to grab. Can I get the? I saw a few trades in the Discord too that were pretty interesting to me. Let's see here. Somebody, let's see. Okay. I want to get. Good lord. Or somebody had posted. Somebody had posted a stock forecast. That's what it was. And I don't know if we can see this so well. This guy zoomed in a little bit. But I really like this. This is super right in line with what I'm thinking. Um, well, I don't think we're gonna end up. Well, we could. We could end up something crazy like 1900. But I think by the end of the year, I think we'll be sitting, I don't know, 12, 1300 ish or so. At least that'd be crazy if it was 1900. But this is basically like the years after that, and then the predictions by whoever did this. I don't even know. Coinpriceforecast.com. Someone just posted in the Discord. But this is like right in line with what I was thinking. 2025. I always put out 4269, but around 4200, and by 2030, 7,000. And I think this is kind of like a base case. I think this is if everything doesn't go perfect for them, and if perfection happens, and like FSD and all that stuff gets rolled out, it's going to be major, major, major upside from here. So hope everybody has a little bit of skin in that game. Let's see. Let me see if I have any questions and stuff I need to go over. Maybe this will be a nice short one, since we did pretty long one yesterday. Let's see. All right. I haven't even seen any of this stuff. Hard work pays off. Congrats to you. I'm paying my dues now. Lost over $400 yesterday. Clawed my way back. Now up to $200. Small gains from my account. Under $1,000 right now, but working on it. Debit and credit spreads have been my go-to. Awesome. Haven't been able to get Discord link to work. I've heard that a few times. Nothing too crazy in here. Okay. I think we got all that stuff. So I don't know if I just killed like everything that we needed to possibly go over yesterday, but do you guys have anything we need to talk about today at all? I have nothing else I really wanted to go over. I was hoping First Last jumps in here at some time. We've been trying to put together like a Zoom call or something with him. And that was really the only other things that I kind of need to check off my list a little bit, get some of that stuff done. And and then actually after yesterday, is anybody who's paid attention to much of this stuff, any idea what's going on with like PayPal? And like some of those things that have just absolutely tanked, like a third. I haven't, especially over this last couple weeks, I haven't paid attention to anything but like SEC filings and Elon stuff because it was, pretty turbulent and wanted to be able to make moves where I needed to. You have 40 contracts for 1,000. Man, doing it big. 1,995s. Those are probably going to be those are probably going to be good. I saw somebody opened up. That's what I was looking for on the Discord. What was the other thing? There was where is it? Opened up first $500 collateral trade on Tesla. A 1135, 1140, expiring 1210. That's crazy. That's some guts. I would only do that like if I had tons of other ones that were way out of the money, but hopefully that stuff pays off. I was doing that, and actually I was doing stuff like way in the money or at the money basically um when the stock price was going crazy last time, and it just kept going up. The link doesn't work. Okay. Let's see. Where do we go? We go invite people, and okay, this one expires in 7 days. There you go. I need to change that too. I need to let my VA know that. Is it? I wonder if they've worked on any of the other ones. What do you still have left on those $1,000 ones to gain? Sunday. Oh, no. Okay. $20. So sweet. Another $800. Have you just been doing them every single week or two on those? I need to get my delay down too. You have it. It's still insane the amount of I'm still shocked like how much money you can get like a few weeks out down at like 800 or 750 or stuff like that. So you opened them. So did you open them up Friday? Friday for this coming up Friday? Still showing. Oh, still showing you can get $35 out of them. That's insane. What's actually way 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 more insane is you can get them. Oh, never mind, not anymore. But that's next week. But like I don't know, 3 weeks, like a month out right now. Like, oh, those are like an 810. You can still get money for this stuff. I just, what do I have? I have a 900, 890, which is still like 100 and something dollars. And I don't know. I guess there's always technical analysis and there's always just like straight up volatility in that calculation there. But I mean, price action and news, we've seen Elon sell. We've seen it just like with the bad news and the selling pressure and everything only come down to like only barely broke below what 1,000 and super hold up. No way. Um, could have gotten a lot more. Oh yeah, it probably depends on when you opened it too. Especially like earlier in the day, you probably could have got a lot. Are you ever scared of a market crash with tax season? Um, no, and instability in the market. No, because there's no benefit for me to be scared. Um, and I can't plan around being scared. And it's always, I mean, it's something to have in consideration. And if it's wiping, like if it's like wiping all of us out, we're all wiped out. Like cost of everything is pretty much wiped out. But no, and maybe I'll get taught a huge lesson down the road and get my face smacked. But the one thing that I do to kind of like what I feel hedges that quite a bit is I take my money and I stick it into underlying. Um, and like you can see how good Tesla did during the pandemic dip. So it's going to do well, and I think continue to do well. So even if we have a huge drop in Tesla, like at least I still have a couple hundred shares in this account, a couple hundred shares in another account. So long term, I never know what's going to happen next week. Never know what's going to happen, uh, a few months from now. But um, you know, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, I'm pretty confident in where it's going to be. I'm always worried Tesla's going to crash like that one time when it crashed to 500. Well, one of the things that um, really have to understand is that the last time when it dropped down to 500, um, Tesla's PE ratio, which if you're, I mean, it's not really important when you're talking about a growth company because you want all their cash to be going into growing the business, right? If they have extra money to sit on it, not a great thing. You want them to grow as fast and quick as possible, which they're doing. But um, that last time, the PE ratio was over 1,000. Now, like this last earnings, I think it was around 140, so almost like 1/10 of that. Um, and this next earnings, I think it should be around 80 ish, which is totally palatable. And I mean, look at what happened. We hit like all time highs, and if there's any place where it is going to just fall, it's from that all time highs, which it did. But that was that was not only falling because people were taking profits, but super bad news that Elon was going to sell a big chunk of it, like all those things, and it only dropped about 20%. And there's so much buying pressure. Like so many people, institutional and otherwise, saw such a huge value and an upside at when it was hitting 1,000. Like that's why we only lasted down there for a day or two. So 500, like literally, like if somehow this drop had dropped us down into the 700s, like I said, I would have leveraged everything to just buy all in. Like that would have been a no-brainer for me. Like I'm talking, mortgage second mortgage on the house, personal loan, whatever, with uber high confidence. Because if that's the news and it drops it that much, like, and I can somehow gain that many shares, then And after the market's already confirmed the value at 1200 just weeks ago, I'm pretty comfortable and confident with that. Yeah, and the other part is, I know like when you look at the chart and you're like, hey, it did it before. It went up to, what was it? The old all-time high was like 950 and it dropped down to 500. Like it did it before, can do it again. But now it's the company itself is massively, massively bigger. Like we have 2 more whole factories coming online here in the next probably month or two. So it's their production numbers, their delivery numbers. So fundamentally, the company is worth just a ton more. Sorry if this has already been asked. How much has Elon sold so far? I heard 43 or 46. Also, how can I look this up myself? So it was, let's see, where was my calculation? So I think it's around half, 46-ish or so. But all you do is you go to Google and you go Tesla SEC filings, and you can click on the first link. It's just the SEC filings. And then you look through these. These are the Form 4s. This shows all the insider trading. You'll have one page here. And then you'll have a whole second page going all the way back to November 10th, which is where he started selling. And then you'd have to click on each one of these and basically look at how many shares that he sold for that day. So you could either take this column, the amount, and just, dump those into a spreadsheet and add those all up. What I did is I just took the highest amount and subtracted the lowest amount to get the difference there, which may not be perfectly accurate because I'm not sure if the first sold is reflected in that amount. So I may be off a couple thousand shares, but it really doesn't matter when he's selling 1 million. And then you have to figure out whether he's talking about, when he says 10%, the current amount of shares that he owned, which you can also just look up, was about 17 million. So there's either 10% of that being sold or 10% of what he could exercise. Like he has the options to be able to buy about, that puts him up to like 25 million, or not 25 million, billion, right? How many shares of Tesla does Elon Musk own? 17% of the 1 billion. So 100, what is that? 170 million. So 17 million would be the 10%. So then you could just put it on a spreadsheet and calculate that. But that's what I did. I just went through all of them. I just copied down like the account number, make sure I wasn't having any duplicates, just dropped it in a spreadsheet and calculated it that way, and then just figured out where percentage of it was, of the total it was. And I can show you mine, because I must be kind of like you in the way that I appreciate, like, there's a bunch of people who post it and everything online, and they'll just show you the totals. But I felt like it could possibly be like one person posted it, and and then everybody else just copied it. So I was kind of like the same way, like, let me double check this. But here's the spreadsheet that I have. So I have 46.24% should be done, and that was based on the round number of 17 or 170, right? 170 million. 17 million. 17 million is what he'd have to sell because it's 10% of his 170 million. So, so that's how you would do it yourself, though, because you can find the official SEC filings. Just because I'm close to retirement, I've been doing very far out of the money spreads, like around 680, but it isn't much growth that way. I do have 650 puts I sold, as I figured those are easier to roll. I know they're so far out of the money, Debbie. Oh, have you ever? I know you have a decent amount of cash. Wouldn't have been. I was actually because I was going to talk to you about that, and I know you want. It's not dumb. It's your comfort level, and you're like literally when your name is stress reduction, selling a put at 650 is absolutely not stressful at all. Um, so have you thought about buying shares? One, because that would have been awesome to buy them because they were 650 not too long ago. Um, and then I can't remember. So you're looking for like a percent, and you're probably looking, I assume, for income. I can't remember our emails back and forth. But have you ever thought of like buying QILD? Like it's about 1% return a month, and it's straight up income. So, and I'm probably thinking about doing some of those, like some more of that. Like I don't know, maybe Tesla will level off at some point. I don't think so. I think like even when they reach the pinnacle, they're going to still go up about 8% a year. So I may never do it, but I thought if somebody didn't have comfort with any kind of volatility, you put $1 million into QILD and you collect $10,000 a month, maybe 9,000 or something like that. And I was thinking the same thing. I just like 2.5 million, 25,000 a month, which you'll probably need here in a few years with inflation going the way it is. I went and picked up a coffee. I went and picked up two coffees, one for myself, one for my girlfriend from the shop next door. I could not believe it. They had like the regular maple bar donuts in their little counter thing, $4.50. I haven't bought donuts in forever. Maybe I'm out of touch with the donut pricing, but I swear those things were like $1 or $1.50. This inflation thing, holy smokes! I guess it's transitory. Transitory. Oh, six. But you're saying like 650s are easier to roll just because it's kind of even dollar amount and more open interest. You did three of my calendar spreads. Awesome. VTI. That's like the total index. Awesome. Oh, so you do have some QLD. Nice. I don't know. It's funny because like dividends are such instant gratification, and it's coming every month, especially with like QLD. I think I have 10,000 in my Robinhood, which I shouldn't because I'm not close to retirement. I think 7 years. I'll retire in 7 years. That's what I'm shooting for to be done. All right. Let's see. Jason, can you buy me a Tesla Model S Plaid? Yeah, sure. Send me your address. I'll mail it over to you. You bet. Can you buy me one in return? I wonder if I'll ever buy one. I've got the truck to get. I don't know. I'm not as like when I was younger, and I really just wanted to go fast, but now I'm just like on autopilot all the time, driving like a grandma. Like super, I don't know, super relaxed. I don't think that's my thing anymore. I don't think I'll get one. Can you look at can you look at Roku and PayPal? I was just looking at PayPal. Somebody brought that up yesterday. That's insane. How did Roku go though? Holy Jesus. Roku. It was like that one. What else? Was it MasterCard was it MasterCard that got beat up? They're not terrible, but yeah, somebody like a bunch of people were calling out tons of things like that look like this. That's insane. I don't even know what happened to them. Thank goodness I got out of like I stopped playing my Roku's um before all this mess happened because I had those put credit spreads on them, and I think I was like in the money, and then it went out, and then I was done. I was like, I'm not doing any other stock but Tesla anymore. Good lord, they got clapped. Roku dipped once Kathy let what go. Was that the? Is that it? What happened to PayPal? Like literally what happened? What changed fundamentally for PayPal? Is there just so many other players in the game right now, or are people not using it? I use it. I use it to pay my VA, and I don't remember how I haven't bought stuff off eBay forever, but I used to buy stuff off of there. It's always kind of weird because you're always kind of in this microcosm of what you do. So the things that you do, you think other people must do or must think the same, must do the same. And their earnings were a beat, and then it just dropped. Jeez, that's the worst. That is the absolute worst. At least it doesn't just happen to Tesla. Remember, like Tesla have this like a major earnings beat and then fell down. Like no bad news at all in their whole thing. Jason, what are your thoughts on Rivian and Apple EV cars as potential threats to Tesla? I think Apple is a potential threat. I think they're like that's the only one. Rivian, no. Rivian, I think is insanely overvalued. It's like not a threat, but Apple, yeah, software wise, just the huge scale, the Apple following, all those things. I think Apple, like out of any company out there, they would be the ones. They absolutely would be the ones. Uh, and then threat. Okay, so I think decent amount of market share, but it's kind of like looking at where like is GM a threat to Ford or whatever. I mean, they both have market shares, so I think there has to be some other big manufacturer out there, and I know GM and Ford will make some stuff, but long term, I mean, Apple's thinking 2025 at some point. So like next year we should reach parity to where an electric car is the same as a gas car, and as more people get them and realize they are just better, and then as that cost drops down and they're cheaper, and there's no way you would buy a gas car unless you're somewhere with no infrastructure or something like that. But like in the US where we have charging stations everywhere and everything, you wouldn't buy it because it's more expensive, more maintenance, more headache, more like it's just a worse thing. There's going to be so much demand. Right now there's not huge demand. There's very good demand for EVs. Like Tesla sold out for months and months, but not everybody wants one. At some point everybody's going to want one. That'll just be the thing. So I think there's totally room for both, and it'll be good for both of them. Because if there's only one, even though Tesla's pushing to innovate and everything, competition just brings out good stuff. And it's not like any of the vehicles that we've seen from Ford, GM, Rivian, Volkswagen, Neo. Nothing's like, oh my gosh, like Tesla better keep up. So Apple might be that. Who knows? I will email you to bug you more. I'll try an 850 spread, I think. Thank you. Have to talk to a client. Well, oh, okay, cool. PayPal under $200 looks good. Roku dipped once Kathy would let it go. Okay. So like you would buy PayPal now? That is just so that is so insane. But PayPal actually, like all in all, PayPal's pretty volatile, isn't it? Good lord, they're back to what are they? What chart is this? They're back to a year ago? Huh. Oh well, I don't need to buy that. Netflix dropped massively when Disney Plus came out. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. But why just over like the last couple weeks has there been new stuff coming out to take the place of PayPal? It's such they're so like ingrained though. Like, I mean, maybe like Venmo or Cash App or whatever, or what Facebook I guess has it now. But PayPal is pretty much a standard out there, I think. Jason, so my older brother is starting his CDL course on Monday, and we're planning on becoming owner operators. We plan to buy a Tesla semi in the future once we get enough money for one. Thoughts? Uh, awesome. And there's like, I think that's the way to go, right? They're cheaper. They're cheaper to run, and they're just cheaper. That's gonna be super cool. But we don't know how it will work for the chargers. Oh, they're putting mega chargers out. So I know they haven't been built out yet, but I think they're like water cooled. You should be able to find. I wonder if there's any videos on it yet. But yeah, they're obviously they're not not set up for that at all. Like the superchargers, you wouldn't be able to use any of the superchargers because you wouldn't be able to like pull a truck into them. But the mega chargers, those will be in place, and I'm sure it's kind of just going to have to build out from one place to the next because to charge the amount of kilowatts you need, and those things probably going to be pretty massive with anything less than like a 440 volt or something like that. That would be cool. And you might as well, especially when you drive. Like that made it one of the easiest things ever for me to be able to purchase my Model Y because I drive so much. I drive already like 40,000, 30 some thousand miles a year. So what that would have been ton of oil changes. What else do you have to do? Oil filters. I don't know what else. Gas, like all that stuff. Brakes. I don't know how often you have to change brakes. Maybe every 100,000 or something like that. But all that stuff that I'm not going to have to do just gets way and way, way better. What's up, V Croc? Think I'm going to roll up my 810, 800, put credit spreads expiring 12/31. Yeah, I think so. It's probably a pretty decent idea. Probably not much left in those anymore. Yes, way cheaper to fill up a diesel truck. It would cost $300 to $400, depending on the fuel tank, and charge Tesla like what, $10 to $20. Yeah, let me see. They're uh, let's see. I don't think it's been released. Okay, so 500 kilowatts. So I don't know where they are. My kilowatts here are 0.105. Okay, so $52 for filling up 500 kilowatts of electricity. But that's here. It'll probably cost more at the mega packs just because Tesla does make money on that. So maybe $100. And it's not like you ever fill them. You don't go and like fill your truck or your car from zero every single time. You're probably not running 500 miles every day. I don't know, unless you're just like making these long trips back and forth. I don't know what your overall plan is, but yeah, still way cheaper than $400. Yeah, and you're not burning fuel, and the thing is like super fast. So I can imagine, like, I've never. No, that's not true. I accidentally drove a semi once. Um, it was kind of funny, or not. It wasn't a semi, but it needed a CDL. I don't remember what class it was, and I didn't realize it. My company sent me down to pick up this truck, and I was like, cool. And then I drove it back to work, like 40, I don't know, 40 miles or something like that. They're like, you're not supposed to drive that. I was like, oh well. But I can imagine someone like, just with the electric, with the like one pedal driving, and just the ease of all that instead of having to shift through gears. I don't know if they all have like automatic transmissions and stuff these days, or if they're still manuals, but just the ease of being able to drive such a huge load. And I'm sure tons of this stuff is going to be automated too. Like, why wouldn't it be? Like, especially like backing in and parking. And I know you can get super good at that stuff over time.
But it's like I'm good at parallel parking. I'm good at all that stuff. But I still use, like, when it pops up on the screen on my Tesla and I'm trying to parallel park. Yeah, I'll just press the button. Super sick. And my girlfriend always goes, "Fuck you, Elon." That's what she says every time I do it. She's like, "What the hell?" When you roll or open up new credit spreads, how far out do you choose your expiration date? So it depends on why I am rolling them. If I'm rolling just because they're coming up within 2 weeks, so I don't have anything expiring. Like this last Friday, I would have rolled out everything for next Friday, but I've already dealt with those. So that's my maximum amount of time that I have for expiration. But I rolled those out another couple weeks. If I open up new ones, typically 4 to 6 weeks, unless we have some major dip for some stupid reason. This last one I don't think was a really stupid reason. Then I'll open them up closer to the money and sooner, just because I'll just see that as a, okay, this is a joke. This is a super temporary dip, and I'll open them up sooner. If I'm rolling them out because I am worried about them, not comfortable or confident in them anymore, I'll roll them out farther, and I'll roll them out generally to a place right before earnings or where I know there's some catalyst where I expect some upside. There's that there's that Affirm came out. I think they're kind of like layaway. It's everywhere with Walmart and Amazon. I don't know the name. Yeah, it's Affirm. Yeah, that's those freaking payment things they're everywhere. They're like, um let's see. I know they're on Amazon. I'm surprised like Amazon doesn't take that though, with the payment thing. Like even when I pay off my when I pay my credit card, it even says that, like, oh, this purchase was eligible. Would you like to make payments on this $40 item? I mean, I guess some people do need to, but then they probably shouldn't have bought the $40 item in the first place. But like my credit card will say that. I think even my bank now will say that when I'm looking into my accounts, going, you could put this on a payment plan. It's insane. It's kind of sick. Which is actually, like, thinking about that more and more is one of the things that it's kind of like pushed me away from Amazon at all. Like it preys on, I mean, good for a business side, but it preys on people's weaknesses as shoppers, right? The instant availability, payments, like, okay, you can pay for it later and get it like delivered later today. I think it's nuts. Let's see. It has a drag efficient coefficient than better coefficient than a Bugatti. No way. How could something that big could? I don't know. That'd be cool. Only $25 left in the 810 800s. Collected 158. Yeah, that's always hard. Like, to collect $1 or $2 a day to me sucks, unless you're just super like not happy about it, or not comfortable with it. Then I would leave them. That's it. Live stream 2 days in a row. Yes, sir. I don't even remember why I wanted to do the one yesterday, because I had some time off. I'm taking next Friday off too, so who knows. But the last one cost me whatever $400 or $600 because I waited to roll up those put credit spreads. But I guess it could have gone the other way too. Nobody can time the market. Hey Jason, I'm sure you've already spoken on this before, but I'm curious what happens to active put credit spreads if Tesla splits. Also, how soon after they announce a split does it actually takes place? So I can't remember how long. I think it was 2-3 weeks, because fundamentally it doesn't change anything from their announcement to when it actually happened. I guess you could probably look that up if you're really curious, but it doesn't change. It doesn't change anything. But what happens is you end up, like, if you had let's say it's a 5-to-1 split and you had a $500 call. If you had one $500 call, that would split into 5 $100 calls. Put credit spreads would be the same thing. Basically, it would take the prices, divide them in half, and give you 5 times as many. So if you have 4 put credit spreads, all of a sudden you have 20 of them at prices a quarter of what they were. So if you look, well, I guess you can't look now, but if so that's why like the option chains were kind of weird. Like it had weird dollar amounts assigned to it because they had to offer those options at 1/5 the price of whatever it was. So that's it. Yeah, I haven't been asked that in a while, and I guess it wasn't really a concern or something anybody's thought about it, and I'm sure they will now. Coming up here, I don't know. I mean, last time I think it was around $1,000 or $1,300 where they announced it, and then it just ballooned. I think it ballooned up to 20. Was it like 2,300 or something before it actually split? Something insane like that. It's gonna be nuts. Would they be $1 wide? Yep, they would be. Yep, you go 5-to-1 or 10-to-2. Yeah, which I remember that part was the weirdest thing because I got so like in the very beginning of doing it, like a $5 wide. I think I like my first put credit spread was probably $1 wide because I was like, well, I'm gonna do it. Not sure exactly how this is gonna go. So, committing $500 as collateral was kind of a big deal in the beginning. So I remember that like having to do the $5 thing, like that was huge, but then it kind of became the standard, and then 1,000 because for some reason I know it wasn't for some reason. It was just because I'd never put $500 or $1,000 like on the line. Now obviously I'm used to it and everything is fine and I understand what happens throughout the whole trade. But at the time that was like big money, and then to have the opportunity to do it back at $1 for a little while, I thought that was pretty cool. Do you think it would be wise to open up some new put credit spreads Monday for Tesla? I like to always have them. Like all my capital is deployed. The last thing I did is I rolled some up, and then I actually took the money and bought another share and a half of Tesla and a little bit more Palantir since it's dying off like the rest of these PayPals and what's the other one? The Rokus and everything else. But I still want to stack those up. But I think it's always good to have them. That's what I do. And it's worked so far. And I guess you can see what comes Monday as far as price action too. Who knows? I've got some 940, 935 put credit spreads, 1126. I want to roll them out Monday. What do you think I should roll to? Wherever you're comfortable with. 940 seems like a decent amount of premium. I would roll them out just a couple weeks. If that's where you're happy with before. Roll them out a couple weeks and yeah. The new ones I opened and I rolled up to was up to 1,000. So, but I still have some down around the 900s and stuff. So I'm more confident and comfortable up there. Like, market's kind of confirmed to me where I think it's going to be. And since we touched 1,000 and then just bounced right off of it, I'm more confident and comfortable on that. So it just really depends on your level, like your threshold. I can tell you all the other parts and pieces, but exactly I can't tell you, what you're comfortable with as far as where to actually open them. Unless it's a house, I wouldn't put anything on a payment plan. I put my Tesla on a payment plan because I've never have my entire life. No. I had one car I put I got a loan on, and I think I paid either 1 month or 2 months. It was a Honda Civic, and I made like 1 or 2 payments, and then I was like, screw this. This is like this interest, this stuff sucks, and I paid it off. And that was when I was a kid. and then this time around, I was like kind of toying with the idea whether or not to just pay for my Tesla, pay it in cash or not. But the interest rate is like I think it's like 1.75%. So it's so low. And then I was able to take that other money, instead of putting cash into that, I was able to keep it in the market. And I hope I'm making better than 1.75%. I mean, that was when I bought mine in June, and it just went into Tesla stock. So where were we? This would be, I guess it's over a year now, huh? So I bought it June of 20, right before the quarter ends. So that was like pre-split. So that was like 100. I paid $160 a share. So I've almost, 8x the money or something like that. 7x the money. It's hard. It's hard. Money's so cheap right now with the way interest rates are. As long as you're taking there's such a huge difference in buying something that you can't afford and having to make payments because you can't afford it. And with a vehicle, if you need a vehicle, you're just going to have to make payments, even if you like, you have to kind of one way or the other, unless you happen to have a lot of cash. Most people don't have a lot of cash. I think average person doesn't have an extra $500. But there's a difference to me in that or buying a luxury or an extra item that you don't need. Like, do you need the new iWatch? Is that what it's even called? iWatch? Apple Watch. Like, that's something you don't need, and to make a payment plan on that, if you don't have the extra money, that to me, that's why you're poor. if that's something you bought. Oh, Disney. I saw Disney too yesterday. Let's see. So hyped for next year. I am so hyped for next year. I'm hyped for 7 years and done. Once I did the math last couple days. 7 more years, done, 100%. Can you still get a $5 wide with the 900? When I was trying to open up, I didn't, below 1,000 had to be 10 wide. So depends on the date. So as the dates become nearer, you'll get more and more options. Like the option chain will have more strikes on it. So I think after the 31st there might not be any, but you just have to check the chain. And we're getting pretty close to the end of the month, so they're added all the time. Asking everybody, what stock splits? Wait, why are stock splits a thing? Like, what are they for? Is it because the market cap is too big, or is it because the stock is too expensive? So we didn't always have the ability to buy partial shares, and really that was a great reason why, right? Like, so if Tesla hadn't split at this point, just this last split, it would be what, $6,000 almost, $5,000 or $6,000 a share. And can you buy a share? Like, how many shares can you afford at $5,000 or $6,000? Not a lot. That's why people look at Amazon. They're like, come on, like, split. I think since we're able to buy partial shares on a lot of brokerages now, it's less important. But then the upside to it is, with like the full share thing, is if somebody needs to take some money out also, like for whatever expenses, income, whatever, they're able to sell a partial share. So like that example of Tesla being $5,000, like if you needed $2,000 and you had to sell a whole share, well, okay, then you're taking more money out of the company, and the company wants as much money in there as possible. So if they need to raise capital, they can offer more shares. But again, like a lot of this really went away with ability to buy partial shares. The other thing is options. like there you can afford the options. Like you can't, I don't know what they cost right now, but like if you wanted to sell puts on, if you wanted to just cash covered put on Tesla, then to do it at a $1,000 strike price, you need a lot of capital. Compared to like if it splits down to 5, that's more reasonable. A lot more people can afford and do that. So just the whole options thing. Fundamentally, it changes nothing, but then psychologically it does, and that's why we always have those rockets up right when the split's announced. And then also there's few people who still view a stock price nominally where they're just looking at that number. My girlfriend does this, and she'll like they look for these stocks that cost like $10 is a cheap stock to them, even if that is a smaller portion or let's see, if the $10 gets you a bigger portion than a stock higher priced, which gets you less. So just different sizes of slices of the pie. But nominal has a lot to do with it. Like, oh, like how am I supposed to build a position in Tesla, right, at 1,200? Because there's something about owning like a higher quantity that feels nice, right? So to have 6 shares or something like that is pretty hard. Tesla has amazing loan rates. It's actually through Wells Fargo. How old am I? I am 40, 43, 44, 40, 44. Yeah, I'm 44. I wish I did too, but the one thing that we can always look at is even if we had learned them earlier in life, we didn't have the availability like we did now. It wasn't available on an app while we're driving down the road in the autopilot to be able to trade. It would have been nice to understand the concepts and stuff, but I mean, with Robinhood and WEBULL and all these other brokerages, now they're actually easy to deal with. I totally did too. I wish I would have. Which I hope a lot of now with the pandemic shutdown and GameStop and AMC and a lot of younger people, hopefully they're able to take advantage of it much earlier in life. Like look at Logan. He just turned 21 and been into it for a few years. Like he's set. That's like so cool. Like I was such an idiot at that age. I was not focused on building my financial future at 21. I think up until at least 25 minimum, we're usually pretty stupid, especially guys at that point. I want Tesla to split so I can get 100 shares to have a chance for covered calls. Yeah. I mean, it's still like, well, I'm always scared to the upside. It's always still scary selling covered calls on my Tesla shares. It's kind of nice, but every time it moves against me, it doesn't feel good. Oh yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, that's scary with Tesla. It is. Like I sold mine at $1,300, and then some days I'm like, what was I thinking? It's gonna rocket past $1,300, and that's just expiring next week. And they still have. I think I'm still underwater. I sold them for like 200 and some bucks a piece, which I'm like, well, that's good money. Do I know if Tastyworks does partial shares? I don't think they do. I think I tried. It's funny. They're so options centric that purchasing actual like shares is difficult. Options are super easy there, but you go to like the trade button on their mobile app and there's no like buy at all. So I don't think they do, but I could absolutely be wrong about that. I tried like for like 30 seconds one day. That was it. You're going to lose them every time it rockets up. I know that's a scary thing. I would pick strike price right on the money, let it expire, do it again next week. You lose, but you're also making money. Yeah, but that sucks. Uh, it's so hard though. Like, what if we have like one of those runs? What if How far did we run? We didn't even, and that's the thing. We didn't even fill the gap. Uh, where we, was it? No, it wasn't there. It was more than 20 days out. I don't have. What do I have? Was it? This is terrible. I don't know. No, there's like still a gap on this last run up, and I remember it was at 950 something, like where you would not have recourse. Oh well, doesn't matter. But it's a scary thing. I love my shares. And then the other thing that sucks, the bigger thing, like that sucks about selling covered calls, like if you've owned them for a little while and you've sold your little covered calls, right, and you've gained a few $100s, but then your shares have done you massive work, right? But your shares have made you 20, 30, $50,000. As soon as you get your shares called away, capital gains tax. Big fat capital gains tax. Trust me, I know. So not only do you have the upset, then you have the tax man going, gimme, gimme, gimme. Especially if you haven't owned them for long, like short-term capital gains tax. Ugh, that's gonna eat up more than you sold your covered calls for, and then you gotta buy them back. And even if you can buy them back at the same amount, then you're still like at a loss with the taxes that you gotta pay. I hate. Sometimes I hate cover calls. Oh, if you have $10,000 for spread, what would you do? 10 contracts for 10 or one for 100? I would do 10 for 10 or 10 for or 20 for 5. I would do 20 for 5. Cuz there's no good reason to do them wider in my opinion, cuz I think so, and it has to do with the way I play these things, right? So if I'm anywhere near that short strike price, if I'm not comfortable there, I'm rolling the whole thing out. It's if Even if it's wider and it has a little bit of room, with Tesla being so volatile, like a $30-$40 move is nothing. It's not like I'm gonna wait till that last day and find out. So whether and it, sometimes I look at that at strike prices too, right? If I have one at 720 or 730 or 740, doesn't really matter if I'm anywhere near any of those shorts and I'm not comfortable with it rebounding or bouncing back, I'm rolling it out either way. So I definitely would do the smaller strike widths because you're always just being you're protective of your sell side, not your buy side so much. And with $10 wide, at least you can roll them out to just about anywhere, so that's a positive. But that's what I would do. Unless and that's being on Tesla. If you have another underlying that's a little bit less liquid or illiquid, then you might consider doing wider because that'll help out with the bid ask a little bit. I just want to buy and hold for 10 years. I do too. Seven years for me. It's gonna be so amazing. Like as long as like nothing fundamentally changes, man, 10 years down the road. That's a funny thing too, is I know whatever price we buy them at today, whether it's 900 or $1,300, it just 5 years from now it won't matter. It just like won't matter at all. It's like somebody who bought the house, like a property. My aunt bought a house in Huntington Beach back in, I don't know, 1970 for, was it like 30 or $40,000. She could have literally paid double and it just wouldn't matter today at all. Like, and she moved out of there now 10 years ago, sold it for 2.5 million. It wouldn't have mattered. Not sure if I would sell them, but I do like the option to do it. Sometimes it's kind of cool, but I just got to be so far out of the money. I like Tastyworks because it made it super easy to learn options. I do too. I liked it. I wanted to see. I don't know if I've ever said it, but I've liked the plot of the Greeks back when I thought they were important, but I wanted to be able to at least understand the Greeks and how theta and delta worked, but I wanted to be able to see it plotted out, so I thought that was helpful. And I also like on Tastyworks the chain. I haven't actually used the desktop for a while, but if you look at a spread, so a put credit spread that you continually roll, and you roll out for, if you roll it out for a year and a half, you can see how much that spread is gained. So you'll have this $500 worth of collateral that you've been rolling for a year, and you can see like you collected $3,400 on this $500 that you keep rolling out. So there's that kind of cool thing on Tastyworks. I like Thinkorswim just for the charts, I guess. But there's also like some people use some other ones that I think are pretty clean, but that's just what I got used to. I think this was my first. Was it my first brokerage I opened up? I can't remember. But I guess that was kind of like the go-to back in the day. I mean, this was the OG original. This was Tom Sosnoff designed this. TD Ameritrade bought it, and then they started Tastyworks. So thanks for making these videos. You helped me break bad trading habits. I stopped doing yellows. Good. Yellows at the end, man. It's just like a casino. You can win a couple times, but if you keep doing them, casino's gonna win. So better to be the casino, not making a ton, but we're making money steady. Yeah. I still, I think they're finally out of my system. I felt like up until maybe a couple months ago, I was still doing one here and there, but not really anymore. But it's kind of good to get them out of your system. I think you have to do it, and you have to get smacked around a few times, get it out of your system. And I used to kind of think it was okay. Like in the shorter term, I was like, well, this is just like 0.1% of my account. But if I added all those up, it was just pure stupidity overall. And I probably lost on so many YOLOs that any of my good ones, I didn't let it run good enough to make up for the bad ones. So, better not throw stuff away. And how is, wonder how Smith and Wesson did after the Kyle verdict. Oh, just kind of forgot about this, but I posted that right after. Right after the Kyle verdict thing. I don't know what time it was released, but Smith and Wesson, if you didn't know this is like my go-to with any riot, any like potential riots. If you can remember Smith and Wesson, as soon as you hear rioting or looting or anything like that, Smith and Wesson will react. And what did we go from? We went from 23, like gained $1 there, which is a pretty big chunk percentage wise, about a 4% there. I was gonna look at that while the S&P is dropping. 100% agree with you. Yeah, I have better luck at the casino. I had good luck. I went there yesterday. I made $200. Gave $100 to my girlfriend.
I think I was talking about this in, I can't remember if I talked about it yesterday or in the videos. Like it's so much easier for me to spend too much there now because my account's kind of big now, and I'll see like one tick on my account make like, I'll see like in 1 minute my account can go down 2,000, up 3,000, down 4,000, whatever like that. So spending a few $100s at the casino is nothing when I compare it to that volatility. Although yeah, because I used to spend like, maximum would be like 40 or $50, while my girlfriend's spending like thousands of dollars. But now I'll spend a couple $100s. I still hate throwing away money. I'm still getting smacked around. I can't wait to get out of DraftKings. Have you thought about just cutting it out? Just say screw it, cutting it, get rid of it, so you don't have to see it every day. No. Yeah, I know we looked at $36. I hate these too, where you're just like you look at this day, and you're just like, oh, all right, it really bounced off this level. Okay, that's the dip. And the dip keeps on dipping. Especially looking, oh yeah, look at that. I actually have a line on this chart. And then what happened? It looks like the same guy just extending that thing out. I mean, that was it. Now it doesn't really have any support down there. What, he had lows at 40. It was like we were making higher lows. 41. Bounced off of that. 45. And then kaboom. Huge divergence from the S&P. Do I use any indicators? No, not really. I used to play more stocks, and now I'm really not wanting to at all. But my main focus, like, I am 100% not a technical trader at all. I mean, I can see patterns just as much. Like, I think anybody could have came in here and draw that same line that I did. It's not like crazy years of experience or anything like that. But I play price action and news, and that's it. It's the only things I really care about. But I'm also, and there's a difference between myself that super focuses. Like I'm hyper focused on Tesla. Like there's probably not much somebody could tell me about it because like I read all the news, I watch all the videos, I look at the SEC filings, for goodness sakes. Like two years ago, I couldn't tell you what an SEC filing is. But I pay attention, I'm so focused on that stuff that anything that happens, I understand why it's happening or what the reaction should be. Even when my prediction's wrong, sometimes then I can go back and like, okay, I should have probably realized this. Where a technical trader, they're usually trading multiple stocks, and they have to be able to look at a chart and make some decisions based on just whatever's happening. But no, I don't generally use any indicators at all. And any of the lines that you see in here, they're ones that I have. I've used pivot points. I tried using those like a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. And also I'm a swing trader. I'm not a I'm not day trading this stuff. I'll day trade once in a while, but all my day trading has to do with news. It doesn't have to do with technical indicators or anything else. These are all my lines. I don't know if they're helpful or not. I wonder if sometimes I wonder if some people, because like you could draw a line really anywhere you feel like, And sometimes it happens to work out beautifully, like where it broke out, where these two kind of came into one another. I use wedges. I do use wedges, and those seem to be pretty proven. And to me, like the wedge shows psychologically like what's happening, right? They're just kind of consolidating on this point where everybody agrees on the price. The buyers are satisfied, the sellers are satisfied. We've come to a perfect pricing moment, and then that's when movement happens. So that makes sense to me. Okay, so I have Jack King call expiring in February. I spent 3,000 and only has 850 left in value. I feel like I might as well risk the extra 800 to pick up 1,000. Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. I don't know. I just got rid of mine. I'm super happy about it. But 850 is a lot though. Like what's your best case scenario? I don't know. Really think it through. You're a smart guy. Think it through. Like worst case scenario, you end up with 0. But 850, what could you potentially do with it? And what's your maximum upside? Like really think that through. Like what is a price that you can see actually happening, and what will that leaps or calls be worth? And can you reach what you want to do? And sometimes that gives you the answer and just goes, yep, just sell it. Like even stick the 850 into shares or something that's just not going to expire ever. I wish I'd bought Tesla when it was at 600. My dumbass bought shares of ARK instead. Like, what the fuck? I know. Oh my god, that's so funny. I was listening to like a whole what is it, stock quits. They were talking about ARK, and people was just going, I think she just got lucky, and I think Tesla's holding up her account. And I have money that I stick into all the ARK funds, and I gotta sell all of those. I'm gonna put it into Tesla too. But literally, like the performance sucks, and I don't know. Of course, when we sell it, we are going to, the minute we sell it, that's when all the ARK funds are going to skyrocket. That's probably how it is. But at the end of the day, it's a fund. It's an ETF. It's going to be balanced. The whole thing is not going to go insane. She had one good year. Super intelligent. I love listening to her. She's in my background. She's one of my where are we at? All right, no mining, but of course I do have Kathy in the corner. Um, so I do like her, but yeah, ARK. That's hilarious because I need to get rid of mine too. Totally. Why do you think Palantir stock is falling? Wasn't the earnings report? It was super good. I think it's one of those things where the market doesn't make sense. And if somebody wanted to manipulate us out of owning it, they might sell some shares and try to get it down. And the only reason, like, I'm able to hold it because I'm looking at it for 10 years from now, 7 years from now, or something like that. But I really don't know. There was some insider trading. I mean, there was quite a bit of stock sold off, but that's just part of it. A lot of the compensation in a smaller size company on a growth company is through stock options. So that may be part of it. Yeah, I honestly don't know. And I don't like nothing that I have seen has changed anything fundamentally. I think it was the only bad thing on the earnings report, if I remember correctly, like maybe there was less contracts in one sector, but I don't know. I don't care. It's just cheap. It's a great deal. I can sit on it for a long time. I bought another. Oh, that was the other thing. After I sold premium on Friday, I picked up another $500 worth of it. You think Tesla will close above 1120 next week? I don't know. Like I not can't really bother.
There's no point in predicting like next week's price. I don't see. Um, I can see both sides of the coin. I can see it's gonna keep going up. Like I think. Well, if Elon would have kept selling, then I think it was a very good chance that it would have closed at least at around the $1,200 ish. But he stopped selling. So whatever happens with that news, is he going to do a whole nother round of it, another tranche? I don't know. If that kind of comes out somehow, like we see another SEC report on Monday afternoon or Tuesday. Oh, and then we have next, what is it, Thursday the market's closed, like Thanksgiving, and then Friday it's a half day. So we have kind of a short week, depending on what's happening there. If Elon's done selling, we don't see any SEC reports, then it'll probably be back up there. We're kind of in a weird spot news wise, and that's it's not any of the charts. I think it's whatever happens with that. That's what's gonna matter. Hi, I'm new here. Hello, Buklau. Do you solely trade as a job? Nope. I actually have a full-time job. I do outside sales, but I'm actually tied up for maybe a total of 2 hours a day. And so with all the apps and everything available, I have plenty of time to do it. I guess I work, well, not really full time. I work I work 3 days plus 2 half days. I was hoping to dump it at 45. Oh, yeah. I don't work for myself. I work for somebody else. I trade for myself. I do have an Amazon business which I do run myself. And how much money? This is a lot of good questions. How much money have you made out of trading? I honestly don't know. I can show you on my Robinhood account. I have made, let's see. So this is what we basically started trading February 21st. And so I've made $372,000, starting with $575, which is this. I've made some more money outside of this as well. But this is my main in and out trading stuff. The other ones I trade a lot slower. Can it be a good career? Absolutely. Nipsey Hussle? Yes. Tell me that if you know Nipsey Hussle, tell me he wouldn't be the king of NFTs if he were still around. Man, I 100% think he would. I don't know if you followed like what he was doing at his store or anything. But let's see. Roku, Teledoc, Zoom, all COVID plays are dragging the arc down. How is yeah, can you name the other people? Well, here's me, Elon, Kathy. Do you know who that is by any chance? I have a weird wide music love. Oh, not CC Cleaner. Zoom, how is Zoom doing? Good Lord, Zoom. Zoom had a nice bounce though. How would you advise someone to use margin or not? Of course I can't give advice. I can tell you what I'm doing. I use margin for my put credit spreads. And I purchase the rest of the stuff for cash. Nipsey Hussle also has like one of the most hype songs I think ever. What kind of music do I listen to? I listen to not everything, not every genre. I like kind of hip hop stuff. I can post I'll post my playlist on my Spotify. It might be pretty interesting, but I listen to stuff like, where are we at? How do I get open web player? So I have some English stuff. I have Korean, some Chinese, Indian, Vietnamese. Uh, I have a lot of different stuff. There's just like a certain kind of music that catches my ear, and I love it. Let's see, how do I share this? Uh, share. How do I share? Copy link. Oh, here you go. Here, there. In case you're, let's see, is this how I do it? There is my playlist. But this kind of music. Careful, it is not safe for work. But yeah, I have a weird wide range of stuff, and yeah, I don't know, kind of random. But I'll go through stuff. I'll listen to like the recommended for you. Um, I understand. I can actually read and write Korean and understand some of it, so that's why I picked up some of the Korean stuff. But there you go. That is my playlist. That's what I usually have in my car. What's up, dude? I seriously have to set alarms on Saturday. I always miss these chats. What's up, Ghostbusters? Yeah, I haven't seen you in a minute. I haven't even looked at Ark's holdings. I think I just need to sell all that, put it in Tesla. I like really do. The guy was on the ball before anyone else was in the sphere. Yeah, he would have been. He's so big. I love that guy, dude. Indian. Yeah, some of it's good. Like I don't know, just whatever catches my eyes. How do you do that? Pop Smoke. Good taste in music. Thanks. Yeah, if you happen to listen to it, you'll hear like some weird, like definitely. There's no way you've heard everything in my playlist. Yeah, and so it was when I started even listening to anything. I went to a summer camp, and let's see, my first real exposure to music. Like when you're a kid, whatever you listen to, whatever your dad's listening to, and I had one of my let's see, had one of my friends try to get me into Def Leppard, and then I went to a summer camp. Somebody had like lost a tape, or they left a tape, and the tape was like so worn you couldn't even read it, but it ended up being, it was either NWA or Eazy-E, one of those two. And then after that I was hooked. I was like, I think it was Eazy-E. I just liked the storytelling. Like the storytelling was awesome. And then so that was it. That's where I started. So then it was like Easy, Dre, NWA, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and then all the way up into today. And we're super off the topic of trading or options, and we're an hour and a half in. So I think I think it's time for me to go do some more stuff with my day. So thank you guys for stopping by. Hope to see you next Friday. Of course, we'll see you on Monday. Have a great Thanksgiving. And Friday, I took that day off. Thursday off. So maybe we'll do one then right afterwards or something like that. And then the following week, let's see. I think I'm going to. So there's that week. Yeah, that's weekend. And then the following weekend, I'll be in Vegas for a few days. So I'll try to make some money this week so I can afford to gamble and play. All right. Love you guys. Have a great Western weekend and great Thanksgiving.